Okay, now we'll start with the SLT from non SAP. Okay, boss. See, what's my plan is now. Close this down. Let me stop this replication. Okay. Now one important point is you'll have a table called schema called sys REPL, which will have all the replication. Okay, this will have only one table RS replicate. See what are configurations you see here in the SLT here. You get to see that in the table level here. Configurations. Yeah. I just want to delete this configuration and create a new one. So first, what I'm trying to do is I'm just trying to clean this table out. So delete all rows. Yeah. I'm deleted entries from the table. So no more components in that connections. Right now, if I close this and try to go to provisioning again, it says there's no configuration. No configuration configured. So basically in the SLT server, equal to LTR now. I would like to delete that configuration and create a new one. Before deleting, I will make sure I stop the master job so that all the jobs will be on hold. Even when I can just keep this configuration, create a new one, but my system will be very slow. Someone delete this out. Delete this configuration. The configuration is deleted. Now what is my target is, I would like to take some non-SAP source, some database. For ECC, my database is mssql server with EHP as a schema and this is a owner. Yeah? So I would like to take that SQL Server database. From SQL Server, I would like to load into HANA using SLT. I'll open the SQL Server database. The connection is lost, so EHP and so I have in this I have a database called EHP, which is actually the database for ECC. So you'll see all the tables of ECC in this. So you'll have a table called Y sales. Yeah. The same Y sales can be seen here. This is actually the database of ECC I'm seeing in the backend. I can see the data. So we just created 13 and 14. So this data I would like to extract through SLT from this database. And this is my SLT server and this is my HANA database. And then now I've got my so basically you'll have the source. So you'll have the source, you'll have SLT, you'll have HANA. This is mssql, SLT and HANA. So I need to have a data. Now in this case, instead of using RFC, I'll be using what? You need to have a DB connection. Here also you'll have DB connection. So what I'll do, first let me get it SLT, just to clean all the triggers what is already there. I use this T code, IUC remote, expert function, delete triggers, all triggers I want to be deleted. If there's any log tables, I would like to clean that out. Okay, everything is done. Now I can start creating. Now first, from this is my SLT server. From SLT server, I need to create a database connection to SQL server. So DBCO is a T code to create database connection. I already have one, so or I can use the same. Say change, new entries. Z9 cubex SQL something. That's my connection name. And which database are you connecting to? mssql. And this will be the connection string. So in help, in SDN, you'll get to know what is the connection string for each of this database. I'm saying my database server is BW so and so, mssql database is EHP, and then here you give the username and password. I want this connection to be permanent and say save. Now I want to test this connection whether this is fine or not using the program SC38 ADBC. You'll have a program called ADBC underscore test underscore connection. Your connection and say execute. So the connection is successful. It would have created some logs. I would like to clean those logs out. Just delete those logs. Now once this is done, I can start creating the configuration. I go to LTR, say create new. I'll use same name, Z9 cubex SQL as my configuration name. Connection to, this is not my, source is not SAP, source is non-SAP. Which one is it? SQL. So give the database connection name and the schema what you're trying to connect is EHP. And your target would is still HANA system. Instance is 01. Number of jobs I want is for 6 for transferring. 3 for calculating the tables, and I want this in the real time. Say okay. Like closing table connection. What source is SQL Server, and the connection name is Z. It has created this configuration. Now if I go to my HANA database, I go data provisioning. So I should see the new connection, new transfer ID, which is 16 of YQX SQL, which is connecting this SQL, and I should see a schema called Y9 QX SQL. Y9 QX. And if you see, for a non-SAP, by default it has brought in these two tables, DD02L and DD02T. L will have all the table names. You don't see the status here, but by default it will have brought those tables out to have the metadata of the tables. Now let me just say I want to load the table Y sales, which is in the SQL Server database, and then say refresh. It is finished. So like this I can replicate data from non-SAP also. If I go to this, some noises come in the background. Audience. Okay, like this we can replicate data from non-SAP also. Clear? And my SQL Server database also has some this also has got some other table like VBAC. So it's got this data. So I would like to get this replicated. So and say load. So you get an error. But if you need to understand what is this error, I can go to SLT server, LTRC, my transfer ID is 16. Good. application logs, only errors, incorrect syntax here. There is some problem, but you can see the logs. Something in syntax error or something, but okay. But this is how you can start replicating tables from non-SAP also. Okay. Next, I would like to show you about connecting. I told you by using SLT server we can push real-time data to BW also, right? So I would like to show how do we connect that to BW bus. So that is possible only from the latest support pack. So I'm just using this. So what I've got is just to show you, demonstrate. This is my BW server. Got RSA1. Yeah. So within this I've installed SLT with the latest support pack, DIMS SP5. Got DIMS SP5 2011 SP5. This is the latest one. So now I would like to create a source system connection by using. So I've got SLT also within BW. I can install that as a separate. Server also. But what I'm trying to do is I want it this way. So I would like to use BW itself as source bus because other source systems are not in the same support pack level, so I can't use it. So what I'll do. So first of all, again source, I'll create RFC connection. I'll go to SM59. I'll create RFC connection towards my BW system because my BW itself is the same NSP system itself is my source as well as target here in this case. RFC2. To source. You need to specify the host. Since it's 16. I give the target source details. Login. So my source RFC is ready. Where I'm connected to the same myself. Now I'll go to LTR. So already one let it be there. And I can delete this. So I'm going to create new configuration. Anything say ZSLT cubex 9. My source is going to be SAP system. So for SAP, my RFC is this multiple usage. I would like to allow. Next, and my target is not the HANA data. Target could be either HANA if it is DB. But my target is not HANA. My target is an SAP system, so I say RFC here. Since you want the target is going to be BW. For RFC, don't give any RFC here. Just say none. You have to give it as none. Okay. And then scenario for RFC can say ODP replication. ODP replication scenario, okay? And then just give some alias name. I'll say 9qubits is my alias. And number of jobs I want as 6 and number of jobs 3. That's fine. I want as real time. And so that's it. Create configuration. So configuration is created. So close. Now you should see the configuration created here. Okay. Now when you go to BW, you have to create a source system connection here. Now go to source systems. You'll have something called ODP SLT queue. Create right click, say create new connection. This is something Z SLT 9QB something. SLT connection for 9 qubits. This here I'll have to give the RFC connection details for SLT server. But for me SLT server and this is same. So try to create a connection. Then we'll create a connection. It will ask me for the alias. Remember what was the ODP alias name you've given? 9 qubits. You remember this name? In SLT configuration given the ODQ alias name is 9 qubits. Yes. Let's create the connection now. That is it. Now this is your connection created. Now you can start creating your data source. Get to the data source tree. You can create your data source. Yeah, when you click on this, it starts reading all the tables and then show you. Let it read. From the source, it will read all the tables and then show you. Then select that. Yeah. Select the table. So the table will be acting as the ODP provider and you create a data source on it and then start connecting. Historically, you load normal. From then what happens, you'll create a DTP and schedule with RDA. And as and when there is a new posting, it will be bringing that into the DSO. It will not work for me now, but I just wanted to show how the source system is created and the data source is created for you. But don't worry so much of this. This is a really too early topic because this is still not being used. But there is a flexibility where SLT can also be connected to BW, because if there is a discussion comes in that business users wants real-time data, so they want to go for HANA. We don't have to go to HANA just for the real-time data, because I can also bring in real-time data into BW also, because SLT can get connected here. So I take this Z sales table which is in that. Say YZ sales. I want just transaction data. So just take the same name. So extraction is based on this ODP table SLT. Fields proposal is fine. It's a 16. Okay, fields, and then activate your data source. Activate your data source. I'll create a data source. Data is done, and let me create some DSO. I already have infobix for those. Create transformations. So since this is ODP of data source, I don't need info package. Straight away I can use DTP. See, normal delta Q would be what? RSS7, right? For ODP, you'll have ODQ mon is a delta Q. So still I don't see my data source because I've not run in it. Let me create DTP. So directly from source, PSA not used. I'm okay. First delta is to bring in the historical data. This is like standard DTP now. I think the table name is Z sales. Now data is physically coming in. There are 8 records now. Do like init load. So let me activate this. So you'll see that 8 records which is physically loaded. Okay. And in the you will see the delta Q as ODQ mon. You should see the new data source now. Where is mine? This one 9 cubic Z cells. Get in. There's one DTP request which has loaded those 8 records. You go and get inside 8 rows. Now what I want is, let me in the source table, let's say we create some new record as 9, some date, and this is 9,000, some date, IN. Okay. I want this record to be refreshed into add to table. Now do we have this? No, nothing is brought in. So to have that automatically reflected, so your SLT will identify the new record, but how is it should be pushed into my DSO, right? So we have to make this DTP as real-time DTP and assign it to a DIMA. This is my problem. I have some problem in this. If we can schedule this, see, I have something like object data source is logged by user. Logged I can remove. RSRTA. This is mine. We create demand. Okay, assign this to see, I get some open delta node data could not be carried out. I see some problem here in this. Otherwise, when this is triggered through demand, it will automatically keep picking that data into my active table straight away, because RD will put the data directly into my active table of my tables. Like this, the real-time data, as and when they create a transaction in the source, it will be coming into your DSO. It's my problem. I have some problem with RTA. This does not go in. But for now, just to show you that it's bringing. Instead of we doing it manually, now we are not using PSS. Instead of bringing it manually, just saying, just to show you that when the DDB is triggered, it comes in. Because demand is not able to trigger, right? I'm just see, I have this problem. But if this problem is solved, you will start getting that real-time data into the DSO when you schedule this DTP with the RDA demands here. She said, Vijay said is bit confusion. See, this is straightforward, but first of all, what you do is you have a source, you have SLT, and you have BW. SLT, source system, BW. First thing is what you do is in SLT server create RFC connection to source. If this is SAP system, yeah. So in SM59 you create a connection. Okay. And once that connection is created in SLT, you create the LTR configuration. While creating the configuration in the target RFC, give it as none and give the ODQ name, some queue name, ODQ queue name. Now get to BW, create a ODP source system of SLT. While creating, give the RFC connection details of SLT server. Then choose the ODQ queue name. So then it establishes connection to. So in the example what I showed, all these three were my same system. Only one system I used as source, target, SLT. That's where it can be. Otherwise, this is how it has to be done. Yeah. Okay, boss. So this is what maximum I can teach on SLT and demonstrate this. And finish activation, any new records comes in, how do we treat? Yeah, new records, that's what I'm saying. When the DTP is scheduled with the demand, automatically it will be picking the new records through that and pushes them directly to the active table. And it is not virtual data, it is physically bringing data into the DSO. Yeah. So SLT will identify the new records being created in the source, and to process them we'll be using the DTP with RDX. Okay. Fine. We'll stop it here for today. This is the end of SLT, and tomorrow we'll touch on BODS. How do we use BODS as ETL tool to push data into HANA from different sources? So when I'm teaching about BODS, my focus is not on the transformations. My focus is on about integrating. So how can I integrate ECC to HANA through BODS, or a non SAP system to BODS, or BW to BODS? So we are not focusing on the internal complex transformations, what is there in BODS. We're not focusing on that. Just an overview on BODS and how it can be leveraged. Yeah, any doubt?
This SLT we can use already existing BW system. I mean, initially already BW system is there. So can we feed the data to SLT to our data system?
Yeah. You have to import certain DIMs into that system, upgrade your system. You don't need a HANA in the backend, not mandatory. Okay, just BW system is enough to get the SLT working, pushing into BW. But only thing is you need to upgrade your versions of BW and install some. Hello?
Which version BW support SLT?
BW 7.3 minimum.
Okay.
7.3 SP8 minimum. Okay. Then you have to have your DIMS patches installed. Then it can go through. Yeah. No class tomorrow. Why? Because BODS is like, it's not so important for us. Because we are not going to project as if we are BODS consultant, but for us to just understand how BODS pushes in, we just need to look at. So that is not an important class, but we don't want to waste time in the weekdays. Let's finish it off tomorrow, right? Even if you don't attend a class, that is not the point, because that's not so important for us. But for a BODS consultant, you would like to know how he's supposed to push data into HANA, how it works in, how can that be used as an import server. So just an overview on BODS, that's it. Yeah? My SLT is installed on the server, and when I'm trying to connect SLT BW to Oracle, it is not connecting. We need to install Oracle client or BW. Yeah. See, first of all, you need to create a DB connection to Oracle. So in your BW system, by using DBCO, you need to establish a connection towards Oracle system. To have your DBCO connection established, you need to install some drivers. You need to install some ODBC drivers. But see, if you go to for NSP, I was connected to SQL Server database, right? And my data is in D or D C user SAP. No, it's in D. So when you get a D user SAP, then NSP, DBS, then there will be something like exe folder. Here you will have to place your corresponding database or DLL file. Okay, then you'll be able to create a database connection towards that particular database bus. Yeah. Install Oracle on BW server. It connects to Oracle, but we are not able to install Oracle on BW server. Install Oracle on BW server. There's some problem here. What you speak? See, you have installed. Your Oracle is a backend for BW, or Oracle is a separate centralized database, and your BW is separate, and then you want to connect to that.
No, Oracle is separate, sir. Oracle is separate, so we want
to bring in that Oracle drivers, the DLL files, and place into your BW server into this path exe file. Then go to DBCO, create a database connection towards that Oracle. Then use a database connection in the SLT configuration. That's all.
Okay.
Some of the videos not received. Could you please send? I am sending videos here regularly. Please, if you not received something, talk to Pawan. Okay.
Whatever
from 18th video you're not receiving
tomorrow.
So that is wrong. So talk to Pawan. I'm sending every class. Please. PPT for SLT I'll send this out. Okay. Not received 30th April. 30th April was but any videos not working or old ones, please talk to Pawan.
We got 30th video, sir.
For BW, there's nothing like load suspend or something. If you want to suspend or load or through in SLT in BW, you have to stop your DTP RDA. That's all. What was it? Next one. What is it?
Sir, whatever examples which we have seen yesterday and today, our SLT server was installed on ECC, right? Only ECC.
Yeah. Yesterday I showed was on ECC. The latest one I showed it
today
was on BW. Yeah?
Okay.
If you're not able to create new SLT configuration, that's fine. But what you do is, I showed you the mechanism of deleting today. First, you have to delete the entries in RS replication components, REPL schema, and then delete your configuration. Then go to the T code IUC_remote and delete all your triggers and log tables. Then create a new configuration. Then you will be able to create. Okay. Fine, miss. Thanks.